Imagine knowing exactly what your students are learning and exactly which steps you need to take next.
Join us in Down with the Reading Quiz to craft meaningful and productive formative assessments that move away from gotcha moments of basic recall and toward assessing what your students actually can do.
In this 30-minute free masterclass, we'll share 3 powerful assessment keys that work for any novel at any time of the year.
Head to shop.bravenewteaching.com/masterclass to sign up, and we'll also send you a free workbook to keep track of all your notes.
Once again, that's shop.bravenewteaching.com/masterclass to nail formative assessments forever.
Hey, Amanda.
Hey, Marie.
What are you up to later? Want to join me for happy hour?
I'm all in.
And guess what's amazing? Our listeners and friends of the podcast can also join us because Brave New Teaching Happy Hour has officially launched. Cheers!
Cheers, everyone. We are officially hanging out a little bit longer after school with an extended, extra private podcast feed just for you.
Yes. Members of Happy Hour get extra 15 minutes of the podcast, give or take, because you know us, we run a little bit long. It's just kind of how we are. But if you would like to get in on this Happy Hour action, please join us. It is only $5 a month. Head to curriculumrehab.com/happy hour and get yourself signed up, because when you're there, Amanda, tell our friends what we do every month for our Happy Hour members.
I think my favorite part is coming up with a new free resource for our listeners every month. And then we pretty much break down that resource and how to use it. We also like to have guests on to do extended episodes and even Q&A that's just for you about that resource. It's really exclusive and super private just for you.
So if you are like us and you like hanging out, you like chit-chatting about all things that are teaching, teacher life, and everything under that umbrella, join us for happy hour and we will see you there. Bye.
Bye. You're listening to Brave New Teaching, a podcast for educators challenging the status quo. I'm Amanda, and I'm a high school English teacher in Illinois.
And I'm Marie, and I'm also a high school English teacher in Southern California. We're so glad you're here. Enjoy the show. Well, hello, everyone. This is a pre-launch minisode of Brave New Teaching, a podcast for educators, which is scheduled to launch on April 2nd, 2020. But we, your hosts, wanted to pop on a little bit early because we are all going through a very bizarre time to be alive.
There is no doubt about it, guys. And we are so excited that you are already subscribed and jumped on and listened to our trailer. So we wanted just to come on and quickly talk to you about one of the first things that we thought about for our students. I know there's a lot of things floating around the internet for teachers and curriculum, and like everyone has been massively generous with all of their things. And we just thought maybe we should take a breath and think about what life looks like for our students right now. I know for mine, I have a combination of panicky, crazy kids who don't know what to do with themselves and are freaking out about doing all the schoolwork. I also have a group of kids that are treating this kind of like a ginormous spring break and intend on doing nothing. So Marie and I got together and we said, listen, what do our kids need? Let's make a video that's student-facing and teachers can give to their kids tomorrow.
In fact, before we get into that, I just realized we should introduce ourselves. We got so excited to talk about how we can help you help your students that we forgot to do that. So my name is Marie, and I'm a high school English teacher in San Diego, California.
And I am Amanda, and I am a high school English teacher in Illinois. You guys will get to know us pretty well, but I guess this is only a little mini-sode, so good call, Marie.
Right. I just kind of realized, wait a minute. This is a pre-launch mini-sode, like we were saying, so let's just get to it and keep it mini. We're going to talk today about really one of the best life skills that there is and helping our students approach and even master that skill, time management, and figuring out what their day now looks like. And Amanda, I'm going to let you take it away for the beginning here because you speak really well to it.
Well, here's the thing. I have been a work from home mom for a couple of seasons of my life now because I had maternity leave and I run a small business. And I remember how difficult it was to go from having a bell schedule to having no schedule. And it was just brutal. And I can imagine right now, like that's exactly like what the first real hurdle is going to be for our kids. Forget all the other stuff that's going to be a crisis. If we really want kids to be successful, they need to learn that this new uncharted world requires not only self-advocacy, but really purposefully understanding what a work from home life looks like. So we wanted to put together something that was useful for you to help teach your kids how to, quote, work from home. And maybe that attitude and that idea and that like just changing that perspective might actually be appealing to them, that they are now work from home students and that they have a new way to go about their learning.
Absolutely. Like I was talking to my students today as we are recording. It is Tuesday, St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. And on Friday was the day that my school was closed and starting effective yesterday and for the foreseeable future. And I had a mixture of reactions from my students who are all seniors. The 2 classes at the end of my day are seniors. And some of them were like, yeah, break, like Amanda was saying before. And others were absolutely petrified about what was going to happen to their sports season, to the AP test. No matter what their reaction is, we're all in the same boat in that practicing social distancing means staying home as much as you can, and staying home as much as you can get to a person, especially our students who are just shy of going out into the world and starting college or whatever their post-graduation life looks like. Let's give them the opportunity right now to really learn how to tackle that time management piece when we can. So here we go.
That's exactly the plan. So, and I'm trying so hard, this is what teachers do, right? We try to steer the sinking ship, not the stinking ship, the sinking
that too.
ship.
Sometimes it stinks while it
teenagers
sinks.
And sometimes teenagers stink.
We've been
honest.
doing this whole high school teaching thing for a minute. They get stinky.
Well, and they might get stinkier when they're stuck at home. I'm genuinely worried about my children taking showers now that they're not going to be in public.
Oh my gosh, I didn't think about that.
So I'm like, okay, how do we steer this stinking? Oh my God, I said it again. They really stink. You guys, this is what you have to look forward to with this podcast. This ship is going down, but we are trying to keep everyone happy. And I think the best way I can approach this with my students is saying, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for you to navigate a world that you're not technically ready for, but this is practice. This is like college. This is a lot of what college is like. This is a lot of what the real world is like. I mean, look at the adults. They're all working remotely. They're proving to their bosses that they can work remotely and still get work done. And their bosses are like, oh, crap.
Oh, no.
That's another conversation for another day. But that's exactly what we're trying to do here is like create something positive for students, something kind of creative and something that can help them control an uncontrollable world. So what we want to share with you guys is 2 parts. It's 1, a video. This video that we're going to have for you downloadable on our website. The video is student facing. So we are addressing students so you can literally just click and assign it on Google Classroom because we know that's what you need. There's also a part of this download, a free editable Google Docs calendar that kids can use to start scheduling their time. It's just basically a table with some suggested things to include in that time frame.
Absolutely. And so in the video that Amanda was just talking about, we talk directly to students. We introduce ourselves as Mrs. Morris and Mrs. Cardenas, and we talk about how we are high school teachers and that we know that this time is weird for them. Basically, all the things that we said at the beginning of this podcast minisode, we said to our kiddos, but we said it directly to them. So as a teacher right now, I'm still figuring out what I'm going to be giving to my own classes because I'm waiting for some directives from my state. This is something that I can start with in that weird limbo meantime. What the heck do I do for my students that's actually useful when I still have their attention because it's still the beginning of this closure. So you can send out that link to your kids with whatever online LMS you are using, and also give them the opportunity to make a copy of the doc that Amanda was just talking about so they can create their own. Within the video that we made, there are 3 different examples of what they could look like, and we will include in the blog post that will go with this minisode, basically the show notes, a link to some more. I'll just make a Pinterest board and we'll just have a bunch of different examples of schedules. Some of them will be bullet journaling, some of them will be online and just block scheduling so that students can look, not too many to overwhelm, but just look and see what it can look like. And quite frankly, I'm going to encourage my students to share this with their older siblings, to share this with the adults in their lives, because this is weird. This isn't not weird. It's weird.
It's all weird. And I know for me, like, that's kind of why when I feel like I'm flailing, it's because there's something missing in my regulation of not necessarily my schedule, but in like what's expected, right? The normalcy. And we don't want to ignore what's going on and try to be normal, but we do want to remind our students, especially the ones we're concerned about with daily habits. We talk a lot in the video about kind of 4 components of what their day should include. It's not just schoolwork, it's also their health, it's also their social lives, it's also their other responsibilities around home, because we know our kids have a wide range of fears, responsibilities, needs, and things that are going on in their lives. And whether your students are caretakers for younger siblings or your students are home alone, we hope that this video and this exercise is something useful for you and at least can start a conversation with students and just remind them that we are here for them. We want to talk to them. We want to know what's going on and support them however we can. And we hope that this tool supports you, teachers, because we are so excited to start this journey of Brave New Teaching. And I hope that this quick little episode really just gets you encouraged and feeling positive about the opportunity of distance learning, remote learning, and whatever else is going on in your lives.
Absolutely. So just to tack on a little bit to what Amanda was saying, this is not us trying to force false normalcy, right, on our students, but it is an opportunity to help them in the way that we can. My hands are tied, quite frankly, because like I said before, don't know exactly what I am going to be giving to my students by way of content and by way of quote unquote teaching. So this is something that I know will help them. And I think our high schoolers might be falling through the cracks. I have very small kids. I have an elementary student son and I have a preschool daughter. And so I was on top of their schedule. And then when Amanda said, what about our high schoolers? Who's scheduling their days? And I went, oh my gosh, you're right, because they are big kids and they still need our help. So that is the whole idea here, is to help them and try and get ahead of those issues that could arise out of loosey-goosey no schedule before they do. So we want to say, thank you. If you have any questions or anything like that, you can get a hold of us on Instagram, especially at Brave New Teaching. Once again, this is a minisode. It's a pre-launch episode of this podcast. We will be launching for real with 3 full-length episodes talking all about what the podcast actually is in just a couple of weeks on April 2nd. But we saw the opportunity and we can see where people, especially our students around the world, are going to need a little bit of help. So we wanted to provide it.
We're so grateful that you guys joined us today. I hope that this idea, at the very least, just opens up some conversations between you and your students and helps you guys just kind of get in the same sinking boat together, maybe.
You did good. That was good. You said it right.
And we are here to help. We are here to support you guys. So yes, always let us know what we can do to help. Check out the show notes for the downloads. Feel free to share this episode and the links with other people. We would love that. And we look forward to seeing you guys again. Hopefully next week, we'll pop back in with another minisode and then launch day.
Absolutely. Yep. We'll be back next week with another minisode talking about some more life skills that can help our students through this time and give them something productive to do. So until we meet again, thank you for listening.